वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। नमो महावदन्याय कृष्ण प्रेम प्रदायति कृष्णाय कृष्ण चैतन्य नामिने गौरकिसे नमः। हे कृष्ण करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमस्ते। सप्तकांचन गौरंगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी विजयभानु सुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। भक्त्या विहीना अपराधलक्षय क्षिप्ताश्च कामादि तरंगमध्ये कृपामयी त्वां शरणां प्रपन्ना वृन्दे नमस्ते चरणारविन्दं। श्रीकृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभो नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। कल बताया था भागवत में रहने से ही निकाल देंगे कि योग्यता सबको होता नहीं। इसलिए भागवत में है नहीं है ये पूछना बेकार। क्यों? भागवत देख के एक महिला पूरा भागवत पढ़ा। हमारा मठ का जो एडिशन भागवत इसको ही पढ़ा। करके बोला कि भगवान जो बोला था मुचुकुंद को, ये तुमको ये से नहीं बाद में कृपा करेगी। तो कहाँ कृपा किया ये तो बताया नहीं। अब लोग पढ़ा कहाँ कृपा किया। उनको कृपा किया विठल रूप से। इतना भी बोलने से तो भागवत पढ़ने से समझा जाएगा नहीं। एक ही साथ में कृष्ण मथुरा में भी प्रकट हुआ और गोकुल में भी प्रकट हुआ एक ही साथ में। कैसे संभव? संभव। अच्छा, इनका पास हुआ शंख चक्र गदा पद्मधारी रूप से मथुरा में। प्रार्थना करने से प्राकृत बच्चा का माफिक बना। ये बात यहाँ वहाँ पे बात नहीं। ये यहाँ एक किया और इन्होंने जाकर वहाँ छोड़ के आया, उनका साथ शामिल हो गया। ये भी कैसे संभव? इसलिए भगवान बताया जन्म कर्म तमे दिग्गम। हमारा जन्म भी कर्म भी सब दिव्य है। ये कौन समझेगा? और इसको जो जानेगा एवं जो व्यक्ति तत्व जो इसका तत्व तो जान लेता है इसको नहीं। तो इसी में भी तो ये जो नंदन अलग देवकी नंदन अलग, ये तो समझता है कि हमारा पुत्र को मैं नंद का घर में छोड़ के आया, तो इन्होंने समझा और वहीं बढ़ता और उसी बात की बात भी बोला कि खबर लेने लगा और ये भी खोल के नहीं बताता है। तो कैसे गोस्वामियों ने कैसे पकड़ लिया इस बात को? इसलिए बोला नंदात मजो, नंदात मजो शब्द जो प्रयोग किया तो 800 बिको बच्चे नहीं, 2 से ही 100। लोगों का वचन से कोई दोष होता नहीं। तब कैसे ये किया? यशोदा रोहिणी क्या देव के गर्भ से आकर्षण करके रोहिणी के गर्भ में समा, तो कैसे संभव? भगवान के लिए सभी संभव। कृष्ण को मारने के लिए भेजा था, क्या भेजा था? तृणावत वो उड़ा के ले जाके ऊपर से कचड़ के मार देंगे। कौन से का कौन मरा? कुछ ना, इतना छोटा बच्चा उसका स्तन पिया, वो स्तन पीने के लिए दिया, मतलब क्या? मारना। मतलब मारना। तो मार सेगा जरूर स्तन पिया, उनका कुछ विकार हुआ नहीं। और पूछना छोड़ो छोड़ो, तो ये बच्चा को छोड़ा नहीं सका। उस वक्त तो खूबसूरत सी स्त्री मूर्ति धारण करके आई थी, लेकिन जब इसको ये किया तो हाथ पैर चलते चलते शरीर त्याग दिया। जब त्याग दिया कितना बड़ा आकार हुआ? पहले तो खूबसूरत स्त्री मूर्ति था, बहुत सुंदरी, और इस वक्त क्या हुआ? इस वक्त इतना बड़ा मूर्ति बन गई और वो भी कृष्ण से हाथ छोड़ा नहीं सके, शरीर छोड़ दिया। उनको कैसे दाह करेगा? दाह कैसे करेगा? टुकड़ा टुकड़ा करके उसको जलाया, कितना बड़ा को। लेकिन अजीब है, क्या अजीब? उनका जलाने से, मुर्दा जलाने के लिए जो गंध होता है, ये तो हुआ नहीं। पगुल चंदन का गंध निकाला। तो इसलिए वहां बोला कि ओहो भूकी जम स्तनपाल पूछो जिगांशया उपायादपि असाध्य वेधे भूतिं धात्र चितो तथन्य कंबा दयालु शरणम ब्रवीम। ऐसा दयालु कौन है ऐसा दयालु कौन कि इनको मारने के लिए आया, उनको ठाकुर तो गति दे दिया। इसलिए बोलता है कि वैसा आत्माराम आदि को भी आकर्षण करते हैं भगवान का लीला, इनको भी समझ का बाहर है। जो सुखदेव माता का गर्भ में बहुत दिन रहा, 16 साल, ये कोई संभव? और अंदर से ही बात करते तभी असंभव। तो भागवत को पढ़ा, समझ लिया, ये तो लिखा नहीं था, तो उनको भी आकर्षण के आत्मा रामश्च मुनयो निर्ग्रंथाओपि उलुक्कले उल्बंती हुई भक्ति इत्थम भूतो गुणो, ऐसा बताता। पुरी का ऐसा उद्भुत गुण है। आत्मा रामश्च, आत्मा रामी सुखदेव, उनको आकर्षण करके तो उनका भगवान में जो निर्गुण निराकार, तो इसमें देखिए इनका गुण है तो और उनको स्तुति किया। बढ़ा पीड़ नटबलों को जब देखा, यही श्लोक सुना, तब देखा इनके गरुड़ है, किरीट कुंडल है, तब उनको उन्होंने कहा इनके तो आकार भी है, निराकार निर्विशेष भी। तो इसमें भी वही आत्मा रामस्य मुनयो निर्गंथाओपि उलुक्कले और उल्बंते अहितुकिं भक्ति इत्थम भूतो गुणो, ऐसा पुरी का अद्भुत गुण है। इसलिए यहाँ देखा है चैतन्य चैतन्य में एक है और उसमें 7 चैतन्य देव बना। इतना तो आदमी था, कोई अंधा नहीं था, तो अंधा ना होने से भी ये लोग देखा नहीं था। देखा जो प्रताप रुद्र को दर्शन ही देंगे नहीं, उनका सेवा गुण से आकृष्ट होकर उनको दर्शन देता। सार्वभौम, ये भी तो तार्किक था, मायावादी। तो उन्होंने तो भी 100 श्लोक में महिमा कीर्तन किया। तो इनको बदलने की क्या बनता है? और वही बोला, कालक्रम में जो भक्ति युग नष्ट हो गया था, उनको देने के लिए तो जगाने के लिए आ जाए, इसलिए हमारा समझना बड़ा मुश्किल। सब विचार करे तो कौन समझेगा? जो सत्संग करेगा वो विचार से साधु संग करे तो समझेगा। कोई सुखदेव भक्त बन गया, वो पीता वेदोव्यास वत्स बोल के पीछे पीछे गया, उसको नेगा भी दिया नहीं, आज जब यही सब गुण देखा और वही हरि भक्ति आया तो वैष्णव का जो गुण कृपालु, साधु का जो लक्षण, तो इसने क्या निर्देश दिया भगवत? साधु है तो वैष्णव है, बाकी को साधु तो बोला नहीं, क्योंकि यही गुण दूसरे में तो होता नहीं। कृपालु अकृतज्ञ, कृपालु सुखदेव को बुलाया था परीक्षित महाराज, आप मुझे उपदेश दीजिए, तो उस वक्त तो आ गया उन्होंने, और उस वक्त कर्मी योगी आदि सब खड़ा होके सम्मान दिया। आज उनको दूसरे लोग भी सम्मान किया, वो लोग कोई थूक दिया, कोई धूल मारा, समझा गया ये पागल व्यक्ति तो एक ही है, सब समझ लिया। बड़ा मुश्किल, किसी में भी चैतन्य से भी समझना बड़ा कठिन। साधु संग करे तो आएगा, नहीं तो समझ में आएगा। कल तो ने बोला, यहाँ बोलते हैं महालोकी का आज्ञा लेकर किया, तो एमन एक शब्द प्रयोग किया ये लोकी को भी लगता है, और सर्वलोकी मई ये राधा रानी उनको भी लागू होता है। भक्त लोग देखता है उनको आज्ञा लेकर आया यहाँ, ये जो मध्यमा का मार्ग का भक्त उनका, और उनको ये कोई ये किया तो बड़ा मुश्किल। ऐसा सुनना, ये करना सहज में होता नहीं, सुनेगा ध्यान से तभी इसको ये थोड़ा सा टाइम में क्या बताएगा। और देखा जा स्कंद पुराण प्रभास खंड में, तो वहाँ प्रभास में देवकी वसुदेव को बोला, कौन बोला? नारद। क्या बोला? नारद भक्त है, लेकिन उन्होंने कलह प्रिय, इसलिए नारद का डिसीजन दिया कलह प्रिय। उन्होंने बोला देवकी वसुदेव को, तुम्हारा जब लड़का हुआ था तुम्हारा तो कोई उत्सव नहीं, नंदों का उत्सव, नंदोत्सव बोलता है, देवकी वसुदेव का उत्सव बोलता है। तो फिर तुम एक यज्ञ कराओ, त्रिभुवन को निमंत्रण करो। फिर उनको ये दिया ब्रजवासी को छोड़कर, ब्रजवासी को छोड़ने से यहाँ रखा नहीं जाएगा। ऐसा ही किया तो नारद को कलह प्रिय निमंत्रण करने गया, सबसे पहले ब्रज में गया, और वही बात बोला कि नारद क्या बनाओ, जो दिल करे सो। तो नहीं है, हमारे पास टाइम नहीं है, त्रिभुवन को निमंत्रण करने के लिए हमारे ऊपर जिम्मेवारी है, लेकिन ब्रजवासी को छोड़कर यही बात बोलने के लिए आया ब्रजवासी। नंद महाराज का निर्विकार रहा, गंभीर को यशोदा के पास जाकर के बोलने लगा जैसा, तो यशोदा बोला क्या जो दिल करे वो बताओ, मैं बना देती। बोले नहीं कुछ नहीं, जो घर में है फल मूल मिठाई वगैरह वो ले। तिरुवन का निमंत्रण करने के लिए जिम्मेवारी है ब्रजवासी को छोड़कर, वही बात ही बोलने के लिए आया। तो ब्रजवासी नंद महाराज तो निर्विकार रहा, निमंत्रण कार्ड नहीं है, जाने से बेइज्जती हो। और यशोदा के जीत नहीं जाऊंगा, किसको क्या लेन देन है, दूर से देख के आ जाऊंगा। गोपी को भी बोला तो सभी किया, दिन रात चला। अंधेरा में राधा रानी ऐसा तेज निकला ये एकदम कोई जंगली जानवर लज्जित नहीं आया, पहुंच गया प्रवास। जब प्रवास पहुंचा, चारों तरफ जारी है, चारों हाथ जहाँ जाते हैं पूछते हैं कार्ड है, नहीं है, तब जान दे नहीं सकते। एक पूर्व पश्चिम उत्तर दक्षिण सब घूम लिया, किसी ने जाने के दिया नहीं। रोआ, रोने से भी कुछ काम हुआ नहीं, तो इससे क्या साबित होता है? तो रोना कृष्ण भक्ति का कारण नहीं है। विनती करने से कृष्ण मिल जाएंगे। सब चारों दर्जा घूम, इसी मापे के राधा रानी उनका सुबियों को लेकर घुमा, उनको भी प्रवेश होगा। तब वही यशोदा का नौकर ने यशोदा का बोला, यशोदा रोने से काम होगा नहीं, तुम अपना पुत्र को बुलाओ। कैसे? जैसे उनको पुकारते थे इसी में भी कोई प्रिय नाम से पुकारो। अच्छा, यहाँ क्या शिक्षा दिया कि जितना कोई साधन है सब फेल हो गया, लेकिन नाम कीर्तन फेल हुआ। कोई ज्यादा अपना पुष्कर के गोपाल हाथ में मिचली माखन, जब भी बोला ब्राह्मण लोग बोलते हैं 5 मिनट, जब तो समाप्त हो जाएगा पूर्णाहुति दे देता हूँ। तो पूर्णाहुति देने तक इंतजार किया, कहाँ चला गया? यहाँ यशोदा को आवाज दिया, कीर्तन किया। कौन कीर्तन? नाम कीर्तन, और नाम से ही तो पुकारा। जहाँ जो गेट में राधा रानी आती है, तो राधा रानी बड़ी मीठी आवाज से, दूसरे आदमी सुनेगा नहीं, उसी आवाज से बोला, श्याम सुंदर यहाँ आके बेराउंड चला जाएंगे। वहाँ श्याम सुंदर रूप में चला। राधा बालक बोला, कन्हैया यहाँ आकर बेराउंड चले जाओ, तो वहाँ राधा वेश में आइए। तो जो भक्त जैसा भी करते हैं, नाम कीर्तन प्रधान जीव गोस्वामी का बोला, कलियुग में जो कोई भक्ति अंग साधन करो, नाम संकीर्तन संयोग। उन्होंने बोल दिया। अगर कोई भागवत पढ़ के बोले सब बोला नहीं, तब होगा? समझेगा? हमारा मठ में एक है, वो जो जवानों ने जलाया, तो कृष्ण को ताली और दमन का बात, तब उन्होंने कृष्ण को बीच में रखकर घेर के पहरा दिया। किस कृष्ण को? तो कृष्ण को ला सके, काली को हाथ से छुड़ा के कृष्ण ने जो आया, कृष्ण जो काली को दमन किया, तो वही कृष्ण को पहरा देते हैं रात में बीच में रखकर। अगर कोई आ जाए दुश्मन, हम लोग भगा देंगे। ये भगा सीखेगा तो तब क्यों ऐसा समझते हैं? इसलिए भागवत में 5 रस को दिखाया। ये वात्सल्य रस बिगड़ा नहीं, किसी अवस्था में बिगड़ा नहीं। रखा तो मतलब ये इसको बिगड़ा, तो वो जो लड़का मठ में आया था, रोज भागवत पढ़ता था, तो बोला ऐसा तो कृष्ण को वो ये किया नहीं। तो मैंने बोला इसका अर्थ पर बीच में रख कर क्यों सोआ? तो रोज भागवत पढ़ने से समझ लेगा, बड़ा मुश्किल। आपको थोड़ा जल्दी रेस करने पड़ेगा। सबको यहाँ महाप्रसाद की व्यवस्था है, तो इसीलिए सब यहाँ महाप्रसाद देगी जाना। अच्छा, जो लोग एकदम रहेगा नहीं, उनको हमारे यहाँ जो है कोई बात नहीं देगा। बोलो आप।
Yesterday, Srila Maharaja was explaining that how the name of Krishna is directly mentioned in Srimad Bhagavatam, but the name of Srimati Radhika is not directly mentioned. But the name of Srimati Radhika is not directly mentioned in Srimad Bhagavatam. Even though indirectly there are some references which our Goswamis they have discovered and established that Srimati Radhika's name is there in Srimad Bhagavatam. But Srila Prabhupada, he mentioned that each and every word is its root cause is in Shakti Shaktiman. That's why in reality Srimad Bhagavatam, in each and every place, in each and every word or syllable, there is the name of Radha and Krishna. But who can understand it? It's not for everybody. In the evening today, Srila Maharaj was mentioning that it is mentioned Ullukena dekhai jeno surjero kiran, that when there is sun, but owl is unable to see sun rays as well as the lightning. Does it mean that sun does not exist? In reality, sun is there, but this owl, because he does not have this qualification to see in the daytime, that's why owl is unable to see the sun. So in the same way, yesterday also Maharaj was mentioning one another thing, that bujibe rasik jan na bujibe mood. Srila Kaviraj Goswami has also mentioned that even though earlier I was afraid of writing the confidential pastimes of Radha and Krishna. Why? Because I was having fear in my heart that if unqualified person will come across with this text, then they will misuse it, misinterpret it, as well as they will consider that this is something like mundane topics of this material world. So I was fearful, but as soon as the thought came in my mind that cuckoo bird is automatically, naturally attracted to mango birds, and there are birds who are naturally attracted to neem birds. So what I am going to speak is like very, very sweet and confidential. So naturally many people will have no taste for that. But the devotees who are like cuckoo bird, those who really know the greatness as well as the superiority of this particular subject matter, they will take it with great respect. So as soon as this thought came in my mind, I was relieved and happy. Bujibe Rasik Jan, that Rasik people, they will understand it. Now Bujibe more. Those who are ignorant, they will not understand anything like that. So in this way, yesterday Srila Maharaja concluded by narrating one story of this material world. Srila Maharaj mentioned that once some Muslims, they attacked on Orissa, but prior to coming in Orissa itself, they imprisoned one like commander-in-chief of the army of Orissa, and through him they wanted that the king should surrender to them. But this person, he was very intelligent, and after staying with them in prison for 2 or 3 days, he wrote a note, and in which he has written that I am in need for 50, can say like he wrote 50 pieces of supari, betel nut, and this much pan, the leaves, betel leaves, as well as he wrote that, please give water in the field of sugar cane. So as soon as this note, because he has to send this to one of his own friend, but through whom? Through these Muslim people. So as soon as they saw the note, they read it, and it was like read by 5 or 7 people, that what he is going to write to his friend. So then everybody read, but still nobody doubted or nobody had any thought that what he is writing actually. They just considered he is from Orissa, he cannot stay without pan, that's why he is asking for betel nut and this leaf, but they were not able to understand it. As soon as this note went to his friend, he was wondering, brought it to another friend's. Finally it came to the like chief minister of Orissa, and then some intellectual people, they sat and started thinking that what is written actually. We know that this person never takes betel nut, and he is saying that, please give water in the sugar cane field. We don't have any sugar cane field also. So what in reality he wants to say. So then finally they come to the conclusion, he is saying that please bring 50 gun machines, bullet or whatsoever, and machine gun and whatsoever, and like it's like 50 battle nuts, means bullets. So bring 50 bullets at least, and then he like from a place where there is water, come from that place, because from that side they will not be able to run. So actually in reality there was no sugarcane field, but he wanted to say that come from that particular direction where we used to have sugarcane field, and from that side if you will come and attack them, they are very weak. So then they did that and they chased the Muslims away, so they were not able to come into Orissa. So Srila Maharaj concluded that these words which he wrote were read by 5 to 7 people, but nobody was able to understand it. Who was able to understand it? Those who really tried and gone deep that what he really wants to say. Those who knew his nature, that he never takes these kind of things, but still why he is demanding. That's why they were able to come to the conclusion. Otherwise it is not possible for everybody just by reading and coming to the conclusion. Then in this material world, if these things are there, then what to speak of the transcendental world or the transcendental scriptures? Unless and until one reads through the eyes of pure devotees, they cannot understand it. Srila Maharaj mentioned one word today in his katha, that Ash Prayog. Many places when in the commentaries, Srila Sridhar Swami or Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, Srila Rupa Goswami Pad, they write their commentaries. Some places they use this word, Ash Prayog. Ash Prayog means like these are the words of those personalities, those who are those who are free from the 4 defects which are there in ordinary human beings. Brahm, Pramad, Vipralipsa and Karana Patav. Those who are free from them, whatever they have written, it is considered authority like Vedas. No questions, no comments, no inquiries for that. That's why wherever this word appears, Ash Prayog, means no question, no inquiry, no doubt. It doesn't matter you understand or not. Whatever is written, it's there. And it is 100% accepted and proved by the authority. So in this way, Srila Maharaj mentioned the word of Srila Shukdev Goswami, the words of Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami is like that. Whatever they have written, it comes under the category of Ash Prayog. Like we know, we used to hear from Gurudev also, that how Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, he was at one time manifesting this pastime, that he was unable to understand that why Srila Kaviraj Goswami has written that Kam Gayatri, in Kam Gayatri there are 24 and a half syllables. He was unable to understand that, and he was 100% sure that there can be no fault in the writing of Kaviraj Goswami. But I am unfortunate that these particular words of Kaviraj Goswami are not manifesting themselves in front of me because of my lacking of surrender. That's why he was fasting and trying to somehow or other get rid of whatever obstacle was there on the path and wanted to really know that what Kaviraj Goswami has written. So that's why Ash Prayog means the words of those personalities which can never be untrue. Does not matter how many years or lifetimes can pass for us to understand it, but that is always truth and always quoted by great authorities. So in this way, from this point, actually in the evening, Srila Maharaj was mentioning in his room that yesterday when I was reading the text from Chaitanya Charitamrita, it appeared that Mahalakshmi, she like Lord Jagannath, he took her consent and took her consent, Mahalakshmi's consent, and then started for Rath, started for Gundicha. But Mahalakshmi is having two different meanings. Srila Maharaj mentioned that when I was reading, first I explained that it means Srimati Radhika. Why? Because it has been mentioned that first he was manifesting his pastime with Mahalakshmi for 15 days in a secluded place. And then afterward it has been mentioned that with her consent he went on the chariot and left for Gundicha. But Srimati Radhika, she can never give her consent for Krishna in Kurukshetra that yes, he can get up on the chariot and go. Because we know that how they were the one who wanted him to bring to Vrindavan. So how can she give consent? So in first line speaks about Mahalakshmi means Srimati Radhika, and the second line it mentions about Lakshmi, Mahalakshmi means the Shakti of Lord Narayan, from whom Lord Jagannath out of sake of out of common sense, or I don't know the proper word which should be used, that out of
किस शब्द का अनुवाद करें?
courtesy, maybe out of courtesy, that okay, because he is going, just informed her I am going, it's fine, okay, like something like formality. So he asked from her, but it was not that he was getting her permission, or if she will not give advice he will not go, but it was just out of formality or whatsoever. So in this way Srila Maharaj, he wanted to speak on this point in reality, and then he was mentioning that but how many people can go deep and understand in reality what Kaviraj Goswami is writing. Like Srila Maharaj mentioned that how Goswamis, they were going deep and deep and deep into the truths of Srimad Bhagavatam. That's why they were able to find out that Nandanandan Krishna, Yashoda, this Vasudeva Krishna, how they were different, how Vasudeva Krishna manifested only in Mathura, and he took a form of a small boy, baby, by the prayers of Devaki and Vasudeva. And then even though Vasudeva Maharaja, he himself brought this baby to Gokul, but he was also unable to understand that Mother Yashoda has also given birth to one son. He was unable to see that his son got merged into the son of Mother Yashoda. Even he was unable to understand. Why? Because Lord wanted to manifest that kind of pastime, and he was not able to see that. Like Srila Maharaj mentioned today also, that when Mahaprabhu, he manifested his 7 forms, only 3 devotees, they were able to see. Sarvam Bhattacharya, Prataprudra Maharaj, as well as Sri Kashi Mishra. 3 of them were able to see. So Srila Maharaj used the word that there were many devotees as well as many people. They were having eyes or not. They were also having eyes like these 3 devotees, but they were not able to see. Why it was like that? It depends on the will of the Lord, to whom he wants to show, to whom he does not want to show, to whom he wants to show, why he wants to show them only. That also depends on Lord's desire. And to whom he does not want to show, they are unqualified, that's why he does not want to show, or they are much more qualified than Prataprudra Maharaj, Sarvam Bhattacharya, that's why I don't want to show them these differences. That one side he is not showing his 7 forms to ordinary unqualified people, at the same time those who are much more qualified than them, means Sarvam Bhattacharya, Prataprudra Maharaj, like Swarup Damodar Goswami is there, Rai Ramananda Prabhu is there, Rupa Goswami is there sometimes Sanatana Goswami is there, but still why they are not able to see? Because their position is very different and the ordinary people's position is very different. But who can understand that Kaviraj Goswami, when he is speaking in which context? It is only possible for those to understand, those who are having sadhu sangha, Srila Maharaj mentioned. That when somebody is having real sadhu sangha, then and only then they can understand. In his room again in the evening he was mentioning, that's why it has been mentioned again and again, that Jao Bhagavad Pado Vaishnava Rasthane, that go and understand this Bhagavatam, hear Bhagavatam from Vaishnavas. If you go and read yourself, you cannot understand. Like Srila Maharaj today in his opening words, he mentioned that there was one Mataji who was initiated from Sri Chaitanya Gaudiya Math. She used to read Srimad Bhagavatam every day. One day she came to Srila Maharaj and asked that I read Bhagavatam many times. There is a pastime of Muchukund where Lord gives his words to Muchukund that I will definitely bless you. But when he blessed, where he blessed, nothing is been written in Srimad Bhagavatam. And I have read very carefully for many times, but I cannot come across. So Srila Maharaj mentioned through that particular example that she was reading many times. But why she did not come to this conclusion that where the Lord has given mercy? Why? Because she was reading by herself. She was not associating with devotees. She was not hearing directly from them. But we were associating with the devotees. That's why we understood very clearly that Srimad Bhagavatam is the essence of all the scriptures. Srila Maharaj mentioned this Gayatri Bhashya Rupa Sukha se shuru hota hai. Artho ham Brahma Sutra Nam. Gayatri Artha Bharat Artha Vinirnaya. Gayatri Bhashya Rupa Asau. Vedartha Parinirta. That this Bhagavatam is the essence. This Bhagavatam is the essence and it speaks everything in essence. So it does not mean that if something is been mentioned there and each and everything from beginning to the end it is there. For this, if somebody does not have even simple understanding that about Prahlad Maharaj, about Amrish Maharaj or about any other thing, whatever is been mentioned in Srimad Bhagavatam, only the hint is been given over there. It is in very brief and the details, descriptions are somewhere else. And when one can understand all these things, when they really associate with the sadhus. That's why Srila Maharaj mentioned that we understood very clearly that Muchukund, he also received the mercy of Lord, but how in his different lifetime and the time when Lord, he himself appeared as Vitthal Dev. He became his devotee and Lord blessed him. Muchukund also appeared as Ramdev and Namdev. की नाम बोलन? विठल जिनके ऊपर कृपा की थी और मुचुकुंद का नाम हुआ था एक और तुकाराम के रूप में तुकाराम जो कि ईंट के ऊपर वो लेकर के बैठे रहते थे और विठल देव जो उसके ऊपर आके बैठ गए. कुछ ऐसा कुछ आता है डिस्क्रिप्शन. It may be that Tukaram or some other name, we are a little confused. And Srila Maharaj was also mentioning before 3-4 days, sometime now, his memory little bit does not help it. Sometime it happens like that. So even though we know that in all the details, all the names, this and that, Maharaj's memory is very, very sharp. Much more than any young person even. But still Srila Maharaj was mentioning like that, so it may be that the name little bit here and there. And it's nothing to worry. So in this way Srila Maharaj mentioned, like he was stressing more and more that who can understand all these things, that is possible we can understand with our external vision or intelligence that Shukdev Goswami, he was staying for many years in the womb of his mother. This is something ordinary which we can conceive? No. He was speaking from the womb and others can hear what he is speaking. He was conversing with them. This is something which is ordinary? How Baladeva Prabhu, he was being attracted from the womb of Mother Rohini to the womb of Mother, from the womb of Mother Devaki to Rohini Mother. So how it is possible? All these things we cannot conceive. But still, the Lord has given His words in Bhagavad Gita, Janma Karma Cha Me Divyam, that my birth, my pastimes, all these things are transcendental. One cannot understand with one's external senses only. So that's why it is applicable, Srila Maharaj mentions, for the Lord, for His expansions, for His like other incarnations, as well as for His pure devotees. Their birth as well as their activities are also transcendental. And one cannot conceive all these things with external senses. If one tries to do that, then he will always be failed. He will not be able to go and able to touch all these things with their external senses. When Srila Maharaj was mentioning about Srila Shukdev Goswami, he mentioned in between that how he was manifesting a pastime of Brahma Jnani. He did not want to hear or stop when his father was calling him. But the time came when he was hearing different verses from the disciples of Srila Vedavyasa. One after another, he came to understand that Lord is having His form, Lord is having His qualities, attributes, all these things, and then finally came and surrendered to Vyasadeva. Heard Bhagavatam from him. Then and only then he was able to understand the Lord completely, became devotee. And so many special qualities, what are supposed to be there in devotee, all the qualities manifested in him. Akrit Dro, Kripalu. Kripalu means he was merciful. A person to whom his father was calling, he did not want to hear him. He did not wait it, did not listen even, did not pay any attention. But the same person, without any invitation from Parikshit Maharaj, he reached in his assembly to bless him. Why? Because now he has become devotee. And this special quality of Jiva Daya, mercy toward other jivas, manifested in his heart. And then Srila Maharaj mentioned also that one time how Narad Rishi, he was approaching Vasudeva and Devaki, that everywhere, whenever Krishna's birth is being celebrated, everybody says that, oh, Nand Utsav is coming. Why? Nanda Baba will be like giving Utsav, and it is such a big festival, but nobody calls it Vasudeva Utsav. So, why? Because you have never ever propagated that he is actually your son. You just went in the dead of the night, left your son there, even though some people say that yes, this is true, that is true, but it is generally not known as that he is your son. So you can have something special. So what we can do? Then Narad Rishi advised them that you can have a special fire sacrifice, yajna. By this, what we can do? We can invite all the three world. Everybody will come, and then everywhere it will be announced very clearly that he is your son, and you are the one who are celebrating your son's birthday, this and that. So somehow it was been Vasudeva Maharaj got agreed, and then finally, who will give the invitation everywhere? Narad Rishi said, I will give the invitation. there is only one place where, like they mentioned, wherever he has to go, but the name of Braj was not there. That he has to go and invite Brajvasis. But Srila Maharaj mentioned Narad Rishi, even though he is a great devotee, to manifest special pastime of the Lord, he sometimes does those kind of activities which comes in the category of kalha, means creating some kind of misunderstanding or fighting or trouble, disturbance among many different people. So the very first thing he did, that he came to Braj. He arrived in Braj. As soon as Brajvasis they saw him, they said, "Oh Narad, we are very fortunate that you have arrived here. We want to serve you. You can desire whatever you want to eat, or whatever your desire is, we will definitely fulfill it." No, I don't have any desire. Even though I want to spend some time with you people and want to eat and discuss many things. But you know that I am having a great burden on my head. Days are very less and I have to go to many places, invite 3 wards for this fire sacrifice. So how it is possible I can even stay and do anything here? Oh, really? What is the invitation? Then he mentioned everything. Oh, is there an invitation for us? No invitation for you people. They did not give any invitation for you. So in this way, he came. I think most of us, we have heard this story from Srila Maharaj many times. The point Srila Maharaj wanted to establish that even though in this particular pastime, what happened, Mother Yashoda, she was insisting Nanda Baba so much so that Nanda Baba got agreed and everybody came to the place Prabhas Khand where this fire sacrifice was arranged. When they arrived, they were not they were not given entry by any guards in the 4 directions. So Mother Yashoda, she was almost crying, requested all the gatekeepers, but nobody listened. Bhim and Arjun, they were in the sky guarding everything. Bhim asked Arjun that, "Oh, what's going on? Who they are?" Then he mentioned, "Oh, they are from Braj." He said, "Oh, how like these guards there, how like there they can stop Brajvasis? How they can stop Mother Yashoda and Nanda Baba?" But then Arjun, he said, "Brother, don't say anything. Krishna wants to manifest something, that's why it's happening. So have patience." Then finally, one of the maid servant of Mother Yashoda, she asked her that don't cry, don't lament. The only thing you can do is the way you used to call your Gopal, you can call him in the same way. Then she started calling in whatever way it was possible for her. Wherever Srimati Radhika was there with her Sakhis, in a very, very soft voice, they also started calling Shyama Sundar, Shyama Sundar, because that's her favorite name. Mother Yashoda, she was calling Gopal, Gopal, because that was her favorite name. And the Sakhas of Krishna, they were calling Kanhaiya, Kanhaiya, because that's their favorite name. So Krishna, who was inside, he heard this Naam, but they were chanting. Even though they were chanting very softly, but it reached in his ears. And the fire sacrifice, which took like many months to arrange, many things were arranged, and it was only 5 minutes to complete. And the Brahmins, as soon as they saw that Krishna is going to get up, the Brahmin immediately told him that, "Oh, doesn't matter whatever you want to do, just give us 5 minutes only. We can complete everything, don't go." But Krishna, he did not wait it for a single moment. Immediately came as his Gopal, as the Gopal of Mother Yashoda, as Shyama Sundar in the assembly of Mother Srimati Radhika, as Kanhaiya in the assembly of his Sakhas. In this way, he manifested this pastime. Srila Maharaj mentioned what is the teaching here, that where all other sadhans are, all the other sadhan completely get failed, only Nam Sankirtan works. That's why it is supreme process to control or to call out the Lord, not any other sadhana. And Srila Maharaj again mentioned that even tears, Mother Yashoda was crying, wanted to meet with Krishna, even tear did not work at that time. Nam Sankirtan can work even at that place where your tears, pain of your heart will not even work. And then Srila Maharaj mentioned that in that assembly itself, it was being proved that there were discussion that whose son is Krishna, Devaki's or Yashoda's. Then, how we can tell that? Then there was a word that from whose whoever will be having milk in their breast for Krishna, that mother will be considered really that she is the mother of Krishna. So Mother Yashoda, milk was coming out from her breast. Why? Because Krishna, he drank milk from her. But milk did not came at all from Devaki. Because even though Lord appeared in front of her, but never drank milk from her breast. That's why Srila Maharaj mentioned the words of Bhagavatam, Ash Prayog. It mentions that Yashoda cha Mahabhaga, that Yashoda is very, very fortunate. Why? Because Tapau Yasya Stanang Hari, that whose milk was being drank directly by Krishna, by Hari. And then another verse Srila Maharaj mentioned, Ash Prayog. Shukadeva Goswami has used the word Nanda Atmaj, means the son of Nanda Maharaja. So these words Shukadeva Goswami has used because these are Arsh Prayog. So that's why Goswamis, they were completely surrendered and having this firm faith in the words of Shukadeva Goswami. That's why they were able to reveal all these truths about Nanda Nandan, Vasudev Nandan and all these things. So the main thing Srila Maharaj established today is that through Sadhu Sangha, we can really get deep entrance into Srimad Bhagavatam as well as Chaitanya Charitamrita, in which each and every word is like Arsha Prayog. Hare Krishna. Prashad aa gaya? So we request everybody that today is the birthday of our God brother's daughter, Janardhan Prabhu's daughter. So he has arranged Jagannath Prashadam for everybody. And today in Jagannath Puri, it is considered that today is a very great festival for Brajvasis. Why? Because Lakshmi, she was not allowed entrance in Braj. So that's why they celebrate a festival. So that's why everybody please take Prashadam here. We request all the ladies to go on the first floor, second floor, and maybe if not proper place there for everybody, then maybe ground floor as well as second floor. And all other devotees, they will be taking Prashadam here in this floor. Hare Krishna.
और रिकॉर्डिंग करेंगे